Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Tater Thoughts. I know I have not been on here for a couple of minutes, but that's because, well, life gets in the way. Been watching them Lions whip some booty. Go Lions. I hope they can do what they need to do with this, get into Super Bowl. I think it's highly unlikely because, well, we have problems with our defense, most namely in our secondary, and I don't think our defensive coordinator is really the greatest coordinator that we can have. I think the rest of the team's doing well. I think um, Dan Campbell, the new ownership over the last couple of years is really, actually, I think we're way farther ahead than what we should be anyways. So, but that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation today is Desantis is out. DeSantis is out. Trump is looking up. All that's really left is Nikki Haley. Chris Christie's out. Ramaswamy's out. And with the exception of Chris Christie, I think they all endorsed Trump, which is pretty big surprise because Trump was pretty hard on DeSantis. DeSantis was supposed to be Trump without all the baggage, but he turned out to be just bad advisors, really bad advisors when it comes to uh, issues to choose from. I think we've talked about it before. America does not care about abortion. Stay away from it. In fact, Kansas and Ohio, both pretty much red states, especially Kansas, they overwhelmingly enshrined abortion into either law or constitution. So if you're not going to win that in Kansas, you're definitely not going to win that nationally, and that's where he kind of screwed himself. And Nikki Haley has kind of cast herself as more of a libertarian in that sense. Trump, unstoppable. I thought for sure with all the indictments coming down and everything that at least somebody would have, close to election time, came close to doing something against them. I think Nikki Haley's got the best shot. All the establishment Republicans, which I'm not a huge fan of because I am more libertarian, but they're all really, the super PACs are kind of throwing money to Haley because whether you like Trump or not, and I love his policies, hate his mouth sometimes, but he gets himself in trouble. And guess what? He might be going to jail or prison before this election is over. And then what? There'll be a big constitutional crisis. So whoever he picks as a running mate is going to be hugely important this time. Let's go ahead and get in a little bit to some polling here, just to kind of give you an update of the state of the race. It's really not changed much. Rasmussen reports not a huge, I don't think a great polling. They don't go to extremes though. You'll never see him, but has Biden approval at 43%, as you can see. This is from 538. They kind of get all the polls together. General election, Trump, morning consult, registered voters, not likely voters, which usually favors Democrats, registered voters. 45-40 Trump is winning Biden. Biden is a very flawed candidate. I know he's going to start harping on his economic record, which when you go by just jobs, yeah, he's been pretty good. Stock market's hit a new high, but man, that inflation. Went to Walmart the other day. Walmart of all places, getting food, and the food prices are just outrageous now. I mean, even at Walmart. And I usually try to avoid Walmart because of, well, you can go look up people of Walmart website, and that's why. Just kind of a trashy place, but prices are always the best. I go there, and I blew $300 on a cart of groceries that really wasn't a whole lot. I mean, so it's kind of a little bit weird. So people are anxious about that. Gas prices are starting to inch up here in West Virginia. It was $2.59, $2.79 a gallon. Now it's $2.99 a gallon everywhere. So starting to hit that three. It's not going to be good for Biden. He's just been a dismal president, starting with the Afghan pullout and everything else. He's just been not a very good president. The media is the one that propped him up against Trump, and I know people are going to talk about election interference and stealing and all that stuff, but really the media won that for him, just like they did with Obama's first term especially. I mean, the guy didn't even leave his basement, and he still won the election. So how that happened, I don't know. Let's go back to some polling here. This is New Hampshire. Haley's staying between 35 and 41 in all these polls, and Trump is between 51 and 62%. So the most favorable poll is from the dailymail.com, who sponsor JL Partners. 651 likely voters has Trump up just by 10 points, which is not bad considering how Trump has really just dominated. Insider advantage, Suffolk University, they have Trump 57-62. Haley at 38-35. Worst one is Trafalgar Group. I don't know how reputable they are, but they have Trump up by 23. I'm sorry, the worst one is Insider Advantage. 850 likely voters has Trump up by 27. So let's see what's going to happen here. Does she have staying power? I like Nikki Haley. I think she was good. I do worry because a lot of female Republicans go to Washington and turn pretty liberal. I don't know if she'll do that. Lately, a lot of Congress women are in Washington. They're some of the most conservative. Lauren Boebert come to mind. So Michelle Bachmann of Minnesota, she went to Washington and she was in Minnesota and she was doing good. Let's look at this morning consult. This is why Republican primary, the average had DeSantis only 12% against 75% for Trump. That's why he saw the writing on the wall, got out. Let's just go back 2 days. American Research Group did 1,100 adults and 1,001 registered voters, and it made no difference. Adult registered voters, Biden's disapproval rate is at 54% to 40%. That's dismal. He'll never win an election that way. There's a lot of time between now and November, though, so let's just see what happens. There is a Democrat primary going on. Phillips versus Biden. Phillips 16, Biden 61%, according to likely voters, 467 likely voters, Emerson College, and American Research Group also, American Research Group did 600 likely voters, same time frame, and they found it to be 54-32. I've never even heard of Phillips, but, that's just the way it goes. And we're not going to get too deep into this. Donald Trump favorability among Republicans, 81%. That's a solid favorable rate among Republicans. I would give him, if they asked me this poll question, I would give him a favorable rating, but it would be like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 for policy, 3 for mouth and criminal conduct and all the other stuff that's going around. But, if you don't like, if you disagree, obviously like and subscribe to this and then get into the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about that. Biden favorability. Oh, let's go with Trump's overall favorability among registered voters of all political stripes. He's got a pretty decent 46% to 51%. You'd think with the way the media beats up Trump that he would have a horrible mismatch there. He'd be below Biden. But the same morning consult asked the same people, and he actually polls 2% better than the 44% that they have Joe Biden as a favorable president versus unfavorable. And then Nikki Haley has slightly the highest at 47% favorable, but 32% unfavorable. That means a lot of people just don't know who she is yet. This is where Trump's going to come in. He's already started hammering. Trump is the best at defining his opponent before they can define themselves, and he's already starting to hammer just like he did with anybody else. So that's your election update. Here's my prediction still. Prediction is that it's going to tighten up. If Haley does decent in New Hampshire, is it tonight or tomorrow night, then I think that it could tighten up as we go. But ultimately, Trump's going to win, and Biden's going to win his nomination. It's going to be Trump versus Biden all over again. And I think Trump has a really good chance of winning. I worry if he gets convicted, if people are going to just sit out, or is that going to drive more people to the polls? Because he has really defined the Biden family, rightfully so in many ways, crooked, especially with Hunter Biden. So, and he's framed this as them trying to take out a political opponent, which we don't do in America. So, to really underscore everything for at least the state crimes, I think that we need a federal law that says that all crimes committed by a president, while president, that's not covered under his immunity, should be prosecuted at the federal level only. That way, people can pardon them. We set a bad precedent. Now, how many people are going to go after the Bidens? How many Republican states now are going to have state charges against that? Because a state charge cannot be pardoned except for by that governor in most cases. So I think Democrats always shoot themselves in the foot this way. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see how the media is. It looks like most people aren't listening to the media anyways. I did a former podcast, but that has been today's Tater Thought. Make sure that you go and like and subscribe and comment in the comment section.